This session is a queues only, right? This session is a queues. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Queue concepts. Okay. Okay. So uh, let's take a personal loan copy. Okay. Okay, so here we have a data. So you're seeing in my screen, right? There is a personal loan Excel is there. It has some data. Okay, just imagine. First of all, we will just think about the actually what is the existing process, existing that mean exist process. That mean what they are doing manually. Okay, just take one examples. One person. Suppose for example, we can take the yesterday's. Kiran only. So they maybe the Kiran is an employee. Just imagine Kiran is an employee who is doing the manual work daily. Just what is the daily work he is doing daily? He will get. Suppose for example he has one folder in the desktop. Uh, input input. It's okay. So yeah. So input tickets and he's getting the a new files every day. Just imagine. So he's getting the new files every day, like a 2000. Let me take this one. Mm, 2020, 12, 11. Okay. So what it means? So it's a DD. 1 second. So let me use my mouse. Okay, so every day there is a one folder in the his desktop. So he has to open this folder. Just imagine this is a shared folder. Shared folder in the sense many people they can access through network this folder. This is a shared folder. People from different locations they are just keeping the updating this file. Okay, okay, so updating this file. So suppose for example, just imagine this is a yesterday's file. Every day he will has to process the yesterday's file. Okay, so maybe today another file is there, so he has to take the only the yesterday's file and open this yesterday's file. This is the name. Okay, so what is that? The name and a phone number and company and a TP code is there. So what he has to check the Kiran's the engineer computer operator, what he has to do, he is an approver. He has to approve. He is the guy who approves or reject the personal loans. These are all the requests. So what is who applied the personal loan? Suppose Ravi is applied, Ravi phone number, and Ravi is working for Infosys and Ravi's TP number. Okay, TP code. Okay, just imagine there is some other X code, something. Okay, TP code. So what he has to see, he has to fill this information. So whatever the blanks is there. So he has to fill the information. What is this information? So whether he has to reject that application or the approve. Suppose reject means he just approve, suppose approve or reject. So if it is a reject, so what he has to mention is why he rejected, the reason he has to mention in the here. Okay, got it? Reason he has to mention. That is a one thing. And before that, so what we can do, we can just simply use another column called salary. Okay, so something like a salary and just imagine, yeah, just imagine salary, and I'm just giving some salaries like yeah, so 5,000, 50,000, 90,000 per month salary. Okay, so this is the salary per month. It means monthly salary. Okay. 85,000 these things numbers. I'm just copying this again Let me remove these all the things. Okay, so because we will check with this LS data. Okay, we'll take with LS data. And 1 second, yeah, so we'll take with this less data. And what he has to do, so he has to, and also if there is a company name is missing, so I'm just missing the some company names somewhere. Okay, somewhere is removing the company names, and somewhere I'm just putting the like a okay, so here we have some company names and the phone numbers. Somewhere you can just miss the phone number also. Here I'm just missing the phone number. So see here, phone number is missing, and some places the company name is missing. And let's create a. This is a Excel he is getting every day, and what we can do simply create another Excel. I'm just creating the another Excel to make the company names. So that means valid in the sense company names. So he has some master company name Excel. It has all the company names who HP, Google, CS. Okay, that's it. Okay, suppose for example, and DXC. Okay, so just imagine he has a one master Excel is there. The company name is Excel. He has a Excel, so he has a separate common Excel. Okay, it's not every day changing. Just imagine it has a common Excel. Where is our tickets? Okay. Valid in the sense valid companies. Okay. Okay, let me rephrase our existing processes. So that the one person, the Kiran is coming every day and check this one. So Kiran, just imagine Kiran is working for some personal loan, loan, the one bank. Okay, so what he has to do, he has to give the personal loans to the people. He has to approve or reject. Okay, so approve or reject, he is getting the every day the lot of queries. So he has to approve or reject the yesterday's Excel, yesterday's requests, and okay, so he has to check all the information, verify the information, and whether approve or reject. Okay, so let me remove these two also. Okay, approve or reject. Approve or reject, and if it is a reject, reason. If it is approve, no reason is required. If it is suppose for example, all the informations are there properly. Okay, and the first thing is like a check all mandatory information. This all the information is mandatory. Okay, let's write down the steps. First thing is like a check mandatory. Suppose all the things are the mandatory. Okay, this all the things are the mandatory. Next thing is like a, so if anything is missing, okay, what he has to do, anything is missing here, something is missing here. What is that? Company is missing. Got it? Company is missing. So what he has to do, he has to reject, directly reject. Okay, no need to check remaining information. If the company or phone number or TP code or any number, anything is missing, it rejects. So missing information. Okay, that is the reason. Got it? That is the one condition. He is doing the manual work. Then next one is like suppose here also missing the some information. So phone number is missing or missing information instead of simply missing information. Let's provide the meaningful information which is a missing. So missing information, comma, company is empty. Company field is empty. Okay, company field is empty. Got it. And here the same thing rejected in this place. Which one? The phone number is missing. Phone number field is number field is missing. Okay, got it. And he's it's like a manual work what he is doing daily. Okay? If everything is working fine, what is the next step? First thing is whether everything is working fine. Next thing is check company from valid list. valid list. So what he has to do, so suppose this is everything is okay, everything is working fine. Check the company, whether this company is available in this list or not, okay? If it is available, this is available, right? So then approve. Approve, for approve, we don't need any reason. Google, just check in the company name. Google is there, approve. HP is there, approve, and all the information is there, and HP is there, approve, okay, and uh, like that. So okay, so if it is everything is there, approve, and also not only that, not only the company. So suppose we see here, company is missing, okay, company is missing, rejected, and this company is not available in the this list. Which one? TIP, RC, or Infosys is not there, right? So Infosys is not there. What if they are rejected? Rejected, okay. So not not in network companies, something like that. So there is a, just imagine this is a network company, so okay, so not in the network companies, okay, company is not matching. So got it, this is a rejected. Then if the all the fields are there and companies also listed into our network companies, okay, listed companies, then the next step is third one, uh, what is the salary should be greater than 40,000. Just imagine, okay, so it's a limitation, okay, 40,000. So then this is approved, this is approved, this is a rejected, right? Rejected. Why it is rejecting? Low salary. Got it? These are all the business is telling. Everything is there. Infosys, because it is, as it is Infosys, we are rejecting because of the network companies, not in the network companies. Okay. This one is like a, so DXE is there, and the salary is also greater than for 40,000 and approve. Okay, so do you all understand? Just give us some confirmation. So if you understand what the Kiran is, that I mean, computer, bank approve or reject manager is doing. So daily basis work. Do you all understand? Just give me the some confirmation. Anyone to go further, or you can just chart is there. Chart is available.
Ma'am, is the chart for guest is available?
The chat for participants, they can chat, sir. I have also unmuted them.
Mhm.
Oh.
Do you all understand? Give me
Yes,
anyone
they are saying,
confirmation.
yes, sir. Everybody can understand. Yes.
Okay, okay. Let's go further. So how can we automate that person work? Okay, how can we automate this kind of work? Introducing by using the UI path technology, we can create a bot instead of this this whole work. Daily he's doing, he's spending. Just imagine now, right now we have only 14 records, right? Just imagine he is getting the hundreds of records. Okay, the 5,000 records per day. Okay, he's spending a lot of things to check multiple things, approve or reject these things and all, filling the information and send back this Excel to the some other persons. That is the duty of this person. So what we have to do, we have to automate this kind of things. Here, this is a business rules. What is that? Business rules. Business is saying this is a rules. Okay, so now if the business is saying these rules, uh, 1 second. So let me. Okay, so we need some system exception also. Or let us take the name and phone number and company name, and mm, okay, so if anything is interacting with this application, that's what. So if it is approved, we're sending the mail. We will send the mail, or what we can do. Uh, That's what's okay. Okay, let's take this one because what I'm looking is only business exceptions is there, business rules is there. So I'm just looking for the system exceptions. If how can we raise the system exception? Okay, so that's what I'm just looking. And what is a just we will do one thing. So we'll just make this is a green. Okay, make this is a green. Approve means green, and rejected means it's a red. Okay, that's also here has to mention the color coding. Okay. Otherwise otherwise okay, so he will change the color code for this. What I'm thinking is let's not complicate it. Okay, so because this concept is the queues, right? So first of all we have to understand the queues instead of actually so the actual use case. Okay, because if you understand the concept, so okay, so you can apply the same concept for any use case. Okay, let's take this one as it is, and let's take this one as it is. Let's create a process. So for this a queue means in the orchestrator queues. Actually, what do you mean by queue? Queue means it's a first in first out. Normally we are seeing a lot of queues in the real world, right? There is a lot of queues are there. First come first serve, first in first out, these kind of things only. But here, so we will create a two kind of bots. Okay, two kind of bots. So one is a dispatcher, and another one is a performer. This is a dispatcher, and another one is a performer. Okay, okay, performer. So basically, is the dispatcher is a dispatcher. The duty of the dispatcher is like dispatching the items to the queue. There is an orchestrator queue is there, so it will just dispatch the items to the orchestrator queue. UiPath orchestrator. So it is dispatching the items to the queue. The duty of we're just creating the two projects, two processes. Okay, and performer take the new item and do the actual performing. Actual performing means so the actual performing is like a checking the details and approve or reject these things and all. Okay, and instead of that, so okay, approve or reject. Okay, let's go and create a dispatcher first. Personal dispatcher. Okay. So what this dispatcher duty? The dispatcher work is like so dispatching the items to the queue. So XLSX, it will just you read the data from the XLSX and simply load into the orchestrator queue. Okay. So we have a Excel, right? We have a Excel available in this location. And what we have to do, I'm just removing this whole data. Anyway, we know low salary, not in network is like here is a not in network, and mandatory field is missing. Okay, so these are all the informations it has to update. This approves also. This is done by this should be done by the robot. What we can do, so the Excel is ready. Okay, Excel is ready in this folder. What is the Excel? Excel is the yesterday's Excel. Every day, suppose tomorrow I run the same bot, it has to pick the yesterday's Excel. Yesterday's means 11th. Tomorrow is for tomorrow's, yesterday is a today, right? 11. So for today 10th, it's a YYYY MMDD. So year, month and date. Okay, so that is the one thing. Excel is ready. The queue is we need the queue. Okay, connect to the orchestrator platform.uipatha.com. Connect to the orchestrator. I hope so. Your bots, your robot is connected to the already orchestrator. There is some steps are there. So I hope you already know the steps to connect to your robot and the orchestrator. Before that, you have to connect to the orchestrator before using the queues, because we're going to use the orchestrator queues. Basically what we are doing is like a suppose for example you have a something like a a lot of project records are there. Okay, so you have to complete today itself. Tomorrow you have to submit. Okay, but what happened? You have to complete records tomorrow, but you know, if you complete today itself, if you start writing the today itself, it is unable to complete because those much records project records are there. Okay, what you can do, you just ask your friends help, right? So the friends and you're sharing the work, right? The sharing the work, and the same thing is happening here also. Sharing the performer, you can just have the many number of performers. Okay, suppose for example this is another performer is taking the same kind of work. Okay, performer, this is also taking the new item from the queue and process. But the dispatcher work is that blindly it is dispatching the records to the orchestrator queue. The performer is doing the actual approval and disapproval process. Okay, rejected process. Your license is as expert. Please renew your license to discussion. Okay, something new message. Okay. Now let's go to the queues. In orchestrator, let's go to the queues and create a queue like a queue name, personal loan queue, personal loan queue. Okay. Okay. So this is a queue name. Is a queue name. So you have a unique reference and auto it retry. So unique reference in the sense, suppose for example, if you have a if you don't want to process, suppose for example you added this record. Okay, so tomorrow this combination if you don't want to add, suppose for example this TP number is unique. This TP number, for this TP number you have to give the only one time, or you have phone number is a unique, right? Phone number is always unique. Okay, so you can just make this phone number, so no one should not take multiple personal loans with the same phone number. If this kind of thing is there, you can just add the reference, unique reference. Otherwise, you can just keep it no. Okay, auto retry is there. Auto retry in the sense if anything is failed while it is trying. Suppose for example, Excel is not responding. Okay, just imagine this Excel is not there, or while you are typing, some browser is closed. Anything may happen. Right? So system is not responding. Normally, just see if you are logging into your bank accounts, okay, through internet banking, if it after typing the username and after typing the password, we click on the login, it will show some message like its username and password is wrong. What you are trying, you are closing the browser, or what you try, you are retrying one more time, right? You are trying one more time by passing the same information. Okay, sometimes it may do mistakes, right? So what we are doing, we are retrying. The same thing is happening here. So we're just asking the bot to retry the same record if any system exception occurred. So before that, so we have to understand what is a system exception. There is two types of exceptions are there. Exception means it's an unexpected kind of thing. Okay, exception means it's like an unexpected kind of thing. Unexpected in the sense, okay, so uh, so every day, so there's some municipality water is coming. So okay, so suddenly there is some damage occurred into your street. The municipality pipe is damaged. Okay, that is unexpected. That is an exception. All right, that is the exceptions. You have to handle the exceptions. So what is the handling the exceptions? What you are doing? So if you see that kind of thing, the municipality tap is broken and floating all the water, these things and all. What you can do? You are just informing to the corresponding department, right? You are calling to the municipality department and say about the, you are just logging or sending the mail. This is the kind, right? This is like a handling the exception. So exception handling means you're not fixing the exception, you're just handling the exceptions. So by just redirecting to the something some people, or sending a message to the some people, right? So this is like a handling the exception. You are not fixing issue, you're handling the exceptions without without stopping the bot, right? So you have exceptions. So there is a system exception. application exception, basically business exception, not application. If we call it as a application also. Okay, so if you can call it as an application exception also, you can call application exception or system exception, both are same, but let us take a both are same then. Okay, so system exception and business exception. Just imagine we have two types of exception. What is the system exception? System exception means if the system is not responding, system is not doing what it's supposed to do. Okay, suppose browser, sometimes the Chrome browser is not responding, it will hang. Okay, so this is like a system exception. Suppose for example they ask you to suppose just here they ask you to go and check the yesterday's file, that yesterday's file is not there into system. So what it mean? The file not found exception. Got it? File not found exception. Elements are there. So suppose for example here there is a list, there is a list, they are saying, so there is another record you are trying to add, retrieve from the sixth number, there is no records. Index out of bound exception, these kind of things are the system related exceptions. You are not throwing an exception, it is a system related exception. System is not responding. Okay, SAP is not responding, database is not responding. Okay, these are all the system exceptions. The business exceptions is like a business rules. Business has a rules. While the client is giving the requirement to you, so they are saying this kind of some rules. Okay, in our case, these are all the rules. Check the mandatory fields. That's the one rule. If the mandatory fields are not there, if anything is missing, throw the exception. Okay, so the next thing is like a check a company, that means basically whether it is a network company or not. If it's not there, throw the exception. Salary, it's like something like a system exception, business exceptions. Someone want to ask some question? Okay. So this is a auto retry, means it is a retrying for the system exceptions, not the business exceptions. Okay, auto retry means if the system is not responding, you're closing the browser and reopening the browser. So what you are doing, so if it is saying the username and password is wrong while you are typing the username and password for the bank, right? So you are retrying again. That is a retry. Retry count, you can just retry count is a 1 to 50. So 1 to 50 you can just retry. Okay, so or you can just if you just type no, it won't retry anything. Okay, click add. So where is that personal loan? Just type the personal loan queue. This is a queue name, right? So if you go and view the transactions, transaction means each and every record. This is one transaction, this is another transaction, right? So if you go to the Excel, each row is a transaction. If you go to the mails, each mail is a transaction. Okay, if you are having some folder, each file is a one transaction. Based on the requirement, the transaction it will differ. Okay, now so this is one transaction, this is another transaction. Let's go to here, and here we don't have any no data to show, right? Go back and copy this one. So this is your queue name. Now what we can do, so we are preparing the dispatcher. So that the duty of the dispatcher is finding this yesterday's file. Okay, take this the path. You can create a variable. Read range activity. Read range. And how can we pass the file path? See here, this is a file path. After this, okay, after this you are getting the file name like this, right? You should not hard code. See, it is a hard coded value, So you should not hard code. What we have to do, so instead of this, it will come always yesterday's file, right? Yesterday's file. Use the double quotes concatenation with the now. Now means it will give the current date and time. Now dot add days. If you add days, so it will add the -1. So -1 means it will go previous. It will go to the previous, okay, day. So if you -1 means -1 day, -3 means -3 days. That means past it will go, okay. So -3 days dot 2 strings. So why we need 2 strings? So to make the format. Format is like a so y mmdd. Got it? So this is a format. So it will replace with the everyday. So suppose tomorrow if you run, so it's like a 2020, 12 and 11 it will come. So now it will come as a 2020. Let us copy this one. So to make sure that so we can just put the some log message to understand which it is trying to access. Okay, it is logging the information. Now, what is the sheet 1? Which is this one, sheet 1 only. The sheet is a sheet 1 only, sheet 1, and we remove this, what is that, range, so that it will read entire data and create a one variable output panel. So, input tickets, something like there's tickets. I use a for each row activity. For each row, because the output of the read range is a data table. The data table is like a, so it's having the multiple rows. You have to loop each and every row and add that into the a data table. Okay, so suppose for example, okay, so here data table is like a so input tickets. This row is a row represents each and every record. This is a record. Okay, this is a record. Suppose if you want a phone number or company name, so anything, any column of that particular records, what we can do, simply you just simply use row of, just for testing, row of 0. You can just put the 0. 0 means that is a starting index as 0. This is a 0. This is a 1. This is a 2. This is a 3. Okay. You can just mention the 0 or the name of the column also. Okay. Suppose for example it is a 0. It will give the first column messages. Okay. Let us see. See here the log message. You can see the log message is a current thing, and then also it is giving the first records, first names of the all the each and everything. So this is a 0 means it's giving the 0, or you can just simply mention the double quotes, the column also, column name also. Okay, if it is index, no need double quotes. If it's a column name, you have to give the double quotes. See, it is giving all the phone numbers. Okay, now you have to add the items to the queue. So before adding the items to the queue, what we can do, simply I'm just disabling everything. Let's disable and learn simple things about the queues. Okay, if you just type the queue into the activities panel, these are all activities which you can interact with the queues. Okay, adding the queue item, adding the item to the queue, adding the transaction items, bulk add, delete, get these things and all, right? So to add the dispatch, what is the dispatcher work? Dispatcher dispatches the items from the Excel to the orchestrator queue. Okay, so we created the queue. We created the queue, an empty queue, and use the add queue item. Add queue item is the activity to add the new item to the queue. Okay, so let's see here add queue item. So what is the properties we need to pass? The mandatory properties like as what is the queue name you want to add? Okay, first we need the queue name. Copy this queue name and here pass the queue name in the double quotes. This is a string variable. Okay. So if you see, these are all the properties. Each property has a, something like a, see the data type. See here, a string. String means it's a data type. It is expecting the string type of value. Okay. Once you add the queue, so you're deciding add item to the queue, but you need the information also. Information in the sense, this is the item information. Okay, information. So what type of information? Here in this item information, so you can just add the names like is name. Name is like a, suppose for example, Sudhir. Okay, so you can add like this. I'm just giving the what is the add queue item, phone number. Okay, so this is you can add any number of fields. This is a fields. You can anyway you know about the class, right? Class has a fields. Okay, so the in OOPS there is a class. Class has the same way. You're just adding the you declare the queue name, but you are adding the fields properties. So let's run with the only the queue. Adding the queue. Adding the queue is a add queue item is an activity to add the new item to the queue. Once you, item is added to the queue, the status, there is a status is there, just here view transaction, you can see there is a single item. What is the status here? New. Okay, once you add any item to the queue using the add queue item, the status is like a new, it is a new item. And also while the performers will take only the new items. Got it? Okay, let us see. So what is the information of this item? Okay, click on the view details. It will say, so whatever the information we gave, okay, so company, phone number, these things now. Got it? And let's add another item. Something like this. Okay. So we have one activity to add the items to the queue. That is the add queue items. Once you use the add queue items, it will add the new item to the queue. The status is a new only. Okay. So which one is the first? This is the first. This is the second, right? The first in, first out. This is a Sudhir record, and this is a Satvik's record. Okay. Got it? Okay. So this is adding the item to the queue. So in the same thing, so adding the item to the queue, and after that, so you have to retrieve the item from the queue. Okay, before that, so let's take this one and enable this in the for each row activity, add the items to the queue, and this information, remove this information, and add the proper information like a what is that, company, a name, phone number, right? Name. Okay, so what is the name? Row of name dot to string. This is the value. Okay, because we are in the for each row activity. The phone number. What is the phone number? Row of phone number dot to string. So and also one more thing. So you can just decide the data type also. So if it is as it is a string, so I'm just converting everything into the string. So let us see the next item. Company. Next item, TP code. Okay, so we're adding these things. So apart from this, so we can add the row number also. Okay, how can we go take the row number? Suppose what is the row number here? This is the row number 3. It's a 4, right? So if you just select this one, what is a F3, right? Suppose this is a F7. Okay, 7 is the row number. How can we get this row number? So in the for each row, there is an index. This index is a starting from 0. It's a 0 based index. Let's create a index IDX. Here I'm adding the another thing like a row. Okay, row number, Excel row number, and you can just simply use the integer, and here is a row number is like index IDX plus 2. Why IDX plus 2? IDX is starting from 0, but our rows is starting from the 2. See here, F2, A2. Okay, so because the first is taken by the column headers, and second is a row 2. Okay, got it? So index, and yeah, this is a row index, this is a column. So the fields which we are giving, all the fields, and the queue name we gave. Let me remove the queue. So basically, so let me remove this queue and recreate. Why it has already data is there, right? So that's why I'm just recreating the queue. So because let's create a fresh data. What's this? So we don't have any data here. Let's go to the Excel, close the Excel, and try to run our process. This is a dispatcher. The dispatcher will dispatch the items to the queue. Okay, and while you are adding, if you want to add any log, you can add. So let us try to run. What we learned, so add queue item is a activity to add the new items to the queue. Once you use the add queue item, the added item status is a new. Suppose refresh here in the orchestrator, you have all the queue items. Okay, you have how many queue items are there? 14. So let's go and expand. You can just have all the queue items. So which is the first one? The first is added. This is the first one. Okay, got it? Is this Ravi? Okay. So these are all the new items. So what is the status? It is a new. Good. Next one is like the dispatcher is done. So in the same way, so we'll create a performer. The performer bot. Both are different processes. Both are running in the different places. Just imagine, both are running in the different systems. But as it is a orchestrator queue is uh, from the web application, it can access the robot, which if the robot is connected to the same orchestrator, it will extract. Okay. Now for the performer, for the performer, what we can do simply, we can just take a plain. Let's take a plain process. Okay. Plain process. Performer. Performer do actual work. Performer do the actual work in the sense checking the conditions and throw the exceptions. These kind of things. Okay. This is a performer. Just taking the flow chart container, flowchart container. In this flow charts, first thing is like, yes, we have to get the the performer will take the single performer. Every performer is taking the every time single record a process, and if you want to take another record process. So this type of logic we have to build. Got it? This type of logic we have to build. Let's take a logic like a queues. So we know the add queue item. To take this is adding item to the queue. To take the item from the queue, you have a get transaction item. Just drag and drop the get transaction item. Connect to this. This get transaction item requires the queue name. Okay. Does someone want to ask any question? We give the queue name is the input, and the output here. The output is a transaction item. So what is the output data type? See here, you can see this is a queue name is a queue item is a transaction item. Okay, so new item, new queue item. Okay. Create another variable called new queue item. So this is a new queue item. So this new queue item is what is the data type? It's not string. It's not integer. It is a queue item as a data type. So once we take this new item, what we have to do, we have to check. So this queue item, get transaction item will return the single item. See, single item, first item only it will return. Okay. Suppose let me display a message box. Let me display a message box. Okay, so a new queue item is a queue item type. Okay, the specific content, you understand, specific content is like as a method, it will retrieve the specific content from the queue. So suppose for example, if you want a name, if you want a phone number, these things are always required to process further. Okay, suppose for example, take the name, if you want the name to display, then you have to use a specific content method. Okay, let's run. So we have just simple getting the queue item and display the message. Getting the queue item, getting the new queue item from the orchestrator queue is a get transaction item is an activity. And it will take the new item and it will return the message. See here, the first one is the taking. So what it is saying, so just refresh. What it is saying, see here, it is went to the in progress because the robot is taken, first record. What is, see here, same name it is taken. Okay, so first record it is taken and it is in the progress. Once the robot is taken the first record, that transaction item is automatically go to the in progress status. And the developers we have a responsibility to update the status. Actually, so if you don't update the status, so status is equal to success or fail. See here, if you don't update, it is a in progress only, continuously in progress only. Suppose for example, if you take another item, let's take another item, run the same bot, it will take it won't take the thing in progress, so it will take the another item. So you can see here, the next first item, the next first item it is taken. What is the person name? Venkat. The Venkat, it is taking the Venkat. Got it? It is taken automatically the next first item. Who will, where is the code to give the first item, these things all? We don't need to bother about this kind of functionality because orchestrator is taking care of those all the things, okay? Updating the status, giving the first item, these things all, right? We have to utilize that capability. Now, the thing is, so once we take this get transaction item, the queue item, you have to the responsibility of the RP developers is like a closing properly. That means updating the status of the queue properly. Okay, so let's type the queues again. You have a set transaction status is there. Just drag and drop the set transaction status. The set transaction status, the input of the set transaction status is a queue item. That's basically the output of the get transaction item. This is a queue item. Copy and paste this in output from output to the input for set transaction item. So you are setting the transaction item status for this transaction item. What is the status? Success. Here is a success, fail. Okay, where success, just take the success and run. Just closely observe the queue. Okay, Subramanian. Sorry, Satyanarayana. Okay, this is a in progress. Just see, this is a queue, latest queue item that is taken. Okay, and click on OK. Check the status here. Refresh the queue, and you can see, check the status. It is a success. It is in progress. Okay, so you have to properly update the status. Now it is in progress. Set the transaction to the success. Suppose for example failed. See here, if it is a success, there is no errors. Okay, if it is a fail, there is some blue icon came. So what is it? If it is a fail, you have to update the reason also. Okay, the reason, whether it is a business exception or application exception. As we discussed, there are two types of exceptions. It's a application or system is a fine. Both are same. Okay, application exception or business exception. Which exception you are failing? Business rule exception or application exception? Suppose a business rule exception, you can mention the reason. Any text you have to mention why you're rejecting. Okay, run the process. See, it is in progress. Which one is in progress? Ravi is in progress. See, Ravi is in progress. And if I just click OK and see the status again, refresh. It is a fail. See here, failed. What is the reason? Why it is a fail? What is the exception type also? This here is the exception type. What is the exception type? Business exception. Let's fail with the system exception. Suppose, for example, fail the application exception, and suppose, for example, suppose we're saying that, so there is a file is there, just take that file, but the file is not found in the location. In progress, which one it is taking? Ramesh. Okay, click OK and refresh the. See, it went to the retry mechanism. Okay, so if it is a failed, if it is a failed with the system exception, then only it will go to the retry. So, and this is the application. See here, what is the exception type? It is application, and you can see the reason also in the code. So you can see the reason, file not found. Okay, for this fail also, the business fail also, you can see the reason from the orchestrator why it is a failed. It is a low salary. We mentioned there low salary. That's why it is a rejected. As it's a failure because of the business exception. So we learned the three things. One is the adding the new item to the queue. That is the add queue item. Next one is like a getting the new item. That is a get transaction item is the activity. It will retrieve a new item to the from the queue. The output of the, what is the output of the get transaction item? A queue item. Okay, a queue item is a get transaction item output. Okay, set transaction item is used to setting the transaction item, setting the transaction item to the success or fail. Okay, let me take this one. So suppose, for example, you have another thing like a queues set transaction progress. So the progress is like a, so basically the what you mean progress. So if your a queue item is taking the longer time, you want to know where it is exactly, you can just set the transaction item status to the transaction progress. Okay, so what basically I'm saying here is like, suppose for example, one project, one process, suppose let's take some water bottle filling factory. Okay, so one water bottle has to fill. So okay, so for that it involves a lot of phases. One is cleaning the bottle, right? That is a cleaning phase. Then is it's going to the filling phase. So filling the water into the bottle, that is a filling phase, right? So then it is going to the capping phase. It is a fitting the capping phase. After that, so it is going to the another missions and say the labeling phase. It's giving some label to that that sticker, like a stamping phase, something like that. Okay. Then it is going to the packing phase. Okay. So one transaction or one water bottle complete, it is taking the this many phases. So if you just imagine for one transaction to complete the one transaction, it is taking the 1 hour of time or the 30 minutes of time. So for to treat this one, okay, to handle this whole thing, so it is taking 1 hour 30 minutes time. If you want to go in the middle and check what is the status of the that particular transaction, okay, if you want to see that transaction status where it is, there's a bottling is filling or packing state, these things and all, you can update the queue, set the transaction progress. The input of the set transaction status equal to transaction item. There's a new queue item. And what is the progress? The progress test. So new item taken, process started, some status, any status. Okay, so understand. So here I'm just using the new queue item. New queue item progress. Let us try to run this one. See here which one it is taken. 7, it is taken the new in progress record. Go to the details. You can see this progress here. See here, progress. You can just monitor the progress from the orchestrator. So what is the status here? Okay, where it is currently, this queue item. So then click OK and check the progress again. Let me just refresh and go to the progress again. Here, downloading in progress. Got it? So it is changing the progress. So to understand what is the progress, so you can just use a set transaction progress. Completed. This is a progress. This is the exception reason. Okay, so this is about this add queue item, get transaction item, set transaction progress, set transaction status. If you want to postpone the item, so no need to, you don't want to run now, so you can just postpone. So basically the input is a transaction item and postpone date. You can just postpone the date like a suppose here I want to postpone this item, one item. Okay, I want to postpone. Suppose for example here new transaction item. I want to postpone this item to the up to 9 days. Okay, this is the daytime. Let's try to postpone. Yeah. Okay, see here, it is a still new. Okay, it is postponed to the 20th of December. So if you try to get any other items, it will take the another this item, not the postponed item, right? So let us take a disable this one, remove this postpone. See here, even though it is a new, it is taking the next item. So why it is taking the next item? Because it is a postponed. So they are saying, so that items are saying, so I'm not going to work now. So just postpone up to the particular date. Okay. You can postpone the item also. Next one is like a delete transaction item. So if you can delete the items, because yes, for community editions we don't have a permissions to delete items. Okay, get queue items is getting the items from the queue. Okay, getting the items from the queue. Suppose for example here this is a flow chart, right? It's a flow chart, and this is a make success. Make it is a success. Okay, now you can use a get queue items. Get queue items is like a get transaction. So see here also normally. So what is the difference between the get transaction item and get queue items? Interviews also they will ask this kind of questions. What is the difference between the add queue item and add transaction item? Add get queue item and get transaction item. Get transaction item is used to taking the new transaction item. It will return a single queue item. Get queue items is written the multiple items, list of items. Okay, take this person queue. Give the queue name here, and the output of this get queue items is a list of queue items. Okay, I enumerable of queue items. Queue items, queues. Basically, the queues is a queue items list. So once you have a list, what we have to do? So we can just use the for each row, for each activity to loop each and every queue item. So I'm just using the for each and drag this one to this, and here item, just take the assign activity to assign the new queue item. Maybe the scope is problem. Okay, scope, increase the scope for this new queue item. Go back here, new queue item equal to this item. So this is a temporary variable. Item is a temporary variable. Okay, and you have to specify the a type argument to the queue items, because this is a queues is like a so list of queues, right? List of queue items. That's why you have to change the same type of. If it's a list of strings, you have to change to the strings. List of integers, integer you have to change. Okay, now it is adding this queue item to the queue item and process. Now so let us try to run this one. Okay. Okay, so actually it's what happens. So just go and check the queue. Okay, so what happened here? Here in the get queue items, there is a queue item status is there, right? It's all be selected. Okay, so you can just select anything. Suppose for example in the real times what we have to do. So if you want to send the summary, how many success, how many progress, how many failed. Okay, so these things are also you can just take this using the get queue items and you can send. Normally just take the new status, try to run. What it is saying is progress updates the same yeah, same thing it is coming. Let's check this one. Okay, it's not touching anything. So because see here suppose in the for each instead of this what is that, so instead of this one you can just simply use the message box and so new item dot specific content of name dot toString. Okay, just display the message. Whatever the new things are there, new items. So the items which is a status is a new. You want to display or you want to do something. So you can just use this new. So all these are all the new items. Okay, Ganesh is new item. So Ganesh is I think this is the first one. Kiran. Okay. Refresh. Yeah. Now. This is a get queue item. So basically the get queue items is getting the items from the queue. You can specify so what type of queues you need. Suppose for example, what is the only the in progress things. I need only the in progress things. So you can just run. It will retrieve all the in progress things. Venkat is in progress. Yeah. Okay, so Venkat, Ani, Abhishek. Okay, Avinash. These two are the in progress. You understand? So the get queue items is a list of queue items it will retrieve, and get transaction item will retrieve a new queue item. Okay, now disable this one. Okay, so let us take a get queue item, get transaction item. The get transaction item out it's a queue item was giving, and the output is like a new queue item. Okay, now it is a progressing. It is a progressing perfectly. Taking the new queue item and process it. Process in the sense setting the transaction status equal to success. Let's try now. So which one it will take? See here, you have to. Which one it is taken? The first one. See here, which is the first one? Which is the first one? So this is the first one. It's a postponed. It's a new, but it's a postponed. It's a next new one, right? Check the name. It's taken perfectly, right? Okay. Okay. So now tell me if I run again the same things, which one it will take? So let us see here. This one is a new Narendra as a next new, and this is a progress. Ganesh. So Narendra or Ganesh, so which one it will take? If you can chart or say something, you can just see. Which one it will take? Narendra or Ganesh? This is a Narendra, first one. It's a Ganesh. My question is, if I run this same process, which one it will take? Anyone can answer, or just ping in the chat window, or I can speak. You don't have a. So chat is disabled for the students.
No, participants can send messages, sir, but you cannot view the chat.
Okay.
So,
So
sir, yeah, one question. The thing is, orchestrator plays vital role in managing the process. Am I correct?
sorry, come again.
The orchestrator plays vital role in managing the process and all. Is it?
Huh.
Suppose if that orchestrator is not available, fails, the entire process will be put on hold, or is there any alternative for that?
Yeah, basically, so yeah, so some organizations they don't have a orchestrator. So because see in UiPath, orchestrator is a separate cost, separate license. Organizations has to purchase orchestrator separate license, robot separate license, studio separate license. Okay, some organizations they can't able to bear that amount, orchestrator amount. That's why they don't use the orchestrator. Instead of the orchestrator, they just use a normal like a so task scheduler to schedule the bots. So task scheduler they can use. Okay, normally it is there in the Windows system. Okay, so Windows OS, they can just simply use the task scheduler to schedule, and remaining things are, and also it's like assigning the assets or these things are all they can keep it like Excel. They can run the bots on demand. Okay. Uh, is it okay, sir? So the answer is suited for that question.
Yes, sir. And another thing is that orchestrator can able to see my organization sensitive data. Am I correct?
Organization sensitive data means see orchestrator having the login mechanism, right? So I log in with my account.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like a Gmail. So your Gmail, I can't access your Gmail inbox, right? In the same way, so who has the access to this orchestrator? They can only able to see the data. And
Okay.
that is also one question. So you whatever you say, ask now this question, because of there is a in the orchestrators. See here in the orchestrators, they have a two types of orchestrators. One is a cloud, another one is a on-prem. Okay, on-prem orchestrator is there. Cloud is like a cloud. They are providing UiPath is providing all the support for the orchestrator. We are storing all the information into the cloud. But for some organizations, whatever you ask the question, the same it will match to this issue. Some organizations, the banking sector or finance, insurance sector, they don't want to share the data to the cloud. Okay, they want to share those data into the local network only. Okay, then what they will do, they will purchase the on-prem orchestrator. Means the orchestrator can only access within the network only, not outside.
Okay. Okay.
In that way they can just make the secure. So some people some organizations, some departments, they don't want to share there's that means security information, the confidential information to the outside cloud, right? So then they can
Correct.
purchase the on-prem orchestrator is there. They will configure the orchestrator into their network SSI SI uh, IIS server, okay, SQL Server database. They will publish everything into their local network. The data is stored in the local database only, okay, not the cloud.
Okay.
And any other questions?
And I have one more question, sir. And so we can delete the item, we can add a new item, and we can hold on that item for a period of time. After that, can you resume that process? That orchestrator
Yeah. So
listing
this is
options.
we postpone. Sorry.
Yeah, postpone. Then after that, we need to resume automatically. Am I correct?
Automatically, it will
Oh.
automatically resume. Okay. So
Mhm.
here, many work we are not going to do anything. So you see, postponing the item after postponed, how it will automatically. See, the orchestrator is taking care of those things and all. Orchestrator having that mechanism like so after postponed date is done. Reaches if the time is reaches to this after 20th of December, this item is again come to the new only. That means new. So if you the performer is taking to new item, first preference is this one only.
Okay. Is it possible to give any priority to the
Yeah,
items?
there is a priority is also there. So priority in the sense, so while you are adding the queue item, so you have a priority option. Okay, high, normal, low priority. Okay, based on the
Okay.
priority also, it will just so first is like suppose you added the item using the low priority, and then you added the item with the high priority. So it will give the preference to the high priority only. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And if you don't have, yeah, okay. So if it's clear, so we'll continue with this exercise. Okay, this use case.
Okay, so thank you. Fine.
Any more doubts, sir? Any more doubts you got in the chat window?
No, sir. That's it.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
And my question is, okay, so how can they answer? Okay, so anyway, you are just viewing the chart, right? So here, my question is like, suppose, so you have a queue items. There is a lot of new queue items are there, right? So this is my question is, so audience, this is the first last item. Kiran is the last item, okay? And this is a initial item, Kiran and Narendra, okay? And Narendra is item, and also postponed item is also there, 20th, Narendra, Kiran and Ganesh. So if I run this process is taking the new item, right? New get transaction item, new item, okay? So which one it will take, Narendra, Kiran or Ganesh? Just type in the chat window. Okay, so sir, you can just, if the audience is typing the chat window, okay? So what is the answers? So see, this process will take the first new item, right? Because you use the get transaction item, will take the new item. My question is, which one it will take? It will take this item, the Kiran, or the item which is after success, Narendra, or this is the item again, it's a postponed it, right? Ganesh. What answer is there in the chat box, sir? Narendra or
Narendra, sir.
Narendra. Okay, so that's good. Okay,
Is it
so
correct?
here, yeah, it is correct. Narendra only, right? So if I run the process, Narendra is there. So now this is a situation. Here we have a lot of items. If I process the same, if I want to process this one, it will take the Narendra only because that is a new item, right? So after Narendra, it has to process another item, another item, another item. Then only it will
Actually,
come
it
to
will
the
follow
next
queue
item.
technology, no, sir? Queue methodology.
Queue methodology. That's it. Okay.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
sir.
it's a queue methodology. Okay, Narendra only. But see, here is a situation. There is an emergency. Okay, so let's go to the hospital environment. There is a lot of OPs are there. Patients are waiting for treatment. Okay, lot of patients are there. Okay, so all are in queue. If the new person is coming, new patient is coming, they are writing the some OP and putting into the queue. Okay, but suddenly there is an emergency case occurred. So okay, what the doctor will do, doctor will hold this patients and go for the emergency patient treatment, right? That is correct, right? Emergency patient treatment. One second, give me one second. Just give me one second. I'm getting an important call. Give me one second.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Uh, yeah, I'm sorry for that. Okay, so this is the situations in a lot of patients or many patients are waiting in the queue. Even though many patients are waiting in the queue, many OPs are there in the queue, but okay, there is an emergency case is came. Okay, doctor will prioritize that emergency case, right? So here also in the same thing. So yeah, there is a lot of new items is waiting, but suddenly we need to process very emergency one item. Just imagine, okay, emergency item. What we have to do instead of get transaction items, let us take the get transaction item separately. I'm not using the get transaction item. Instead of that, add transaction item. Okay, add transaction item is a activity to process the high priority in the sense emergency items. Okay, add transaction item will add the item to the queue. Immediately it will go for the process. In the same way, in the hospital, even though there is a lot of patients are waiting in the queue, the emergency case, they will add the register their details into the OP, and immediately they will go for the treatment. Got it? Okay, that's what here it is. Like a combination of add queue item and get transaction item. It's like a add transaction item. So add transaction item, we have to mention the queue name where we are adding, and what is the transaction item. So see here, transaction item info, and here, so what is the transaction item info? Name, and suppose Jagadish. What is all the things? Suppose for example, this is all the things. Uh, this phone number, company, and TP number. Okay, TP code. And the another thing is like a, suppose phone number is like a something like this. Company name is like a UL. So the TP number is like a. Okay, so I'm just adding and processing immediately. So adding item. See, even though there is a lot of queue items are available, actually, so if I run this one, so it has to process this Narendra only because the Narendra is a new item. What happened? Okay, object. So here we have to use the transaction item as an output, new item. So it's just taking the item. So basically, see here, add queue item is used to adding the new item to the queue, and get transaction item is used to getting the new item from the queue. The output of the get transaction item is a queue item. But the add transaction item is used to adding the item immediately. It will go to the in progress. So what is the output of the status of the queue item? If you use the add transaction item, it is a in progress immediately. Okay. If you use the add queue item, it is a new. If you use the add transaction item, it is a going immediately into the in progress. Let us run and refresh. See high priority. See here, high priority Jagadish, it is in progress, and high priority automatically it is taking the high priority. Got it? You understand? So it is going to success. Let's see. Yeah, basically this is a earlier one. Earlier one in the middle it stopped, right? Earlier one. Okay, let's forget this. So this is a higher priority. Immediately it is progress. Even though there is a lot of queue items are available in the queue, the new items are there. If you want to process immediately in the high priority process, then you can use a add transaction item. Got it? The add queue item, add transaction item is used to adding the transaction item for immediate processing. For that is a high priority, and get queue items and get transaction item. Let us do small thing like suppose for example, we have in some new queue items are there. Okay, so get transaction item. Then postpone set transaction status, everything is there. So now we will create a so this itself, see here, I'm just removing this one. The performer, we are just preparing the performer. Get transaction item, set transaction progress, removing this all the things. We are preparing actual process for. Okay, so let's make it as everything is empty. We have only get transaction item. Okay, get transaction item we will give the new item, and here we will check whether the transaction item is there or not. New decision, flow decision. Okay, so if there is no OPs, no items are available, what we have to do? That is also we have to write the code. So yeah, a new item or new person for the personal loan. Okay, so this is a condition. So if is use the condition here, the condition is like a here new queue item is not nothing. Okay, so what it mean? So new queue item is an item which will retrieve from the queue. Sometimes in the sense if there is no items available with the status new, then this will return the nothing only. Okay, the new queue item is not nothing. What it mean? New queue item is not nothing means it is having something. The new item having the something. It is a new item. Let's click on OK. So this side, this true direction is a new item. So you can just change the labels also. With a true new item, with a false no items. Okay, new item, no items. True direction is a new item. Okay, so if it's a no items, what we have to do? We just put the some log message. Log message like a so no items to process. Here, no items to the process. No items to no new items. No new items for process. Okay, so this is it will just simply use the log. Okay, so if it's a new item, what we have to do? We have to do some process, right? So take the some sequence to do some process. See here, this I'm just connecting this one to the sequence. It's like a process, single record. So inside this sequence, we have to develop the process, actual process. What we have to do now with the new item? It has to open. So okay, first of all, let us take within this I'm just using the this whole conditions. Just check the conditions. First thing is like a condition, checking the conditions, right? Checking the mandatory fields. Let's go and check the mandatory fields here. something like a if. Before that, use the assign operator. Multi-assign operator to assign the new variables called name of the person, phone number of the person, Control K, create a new variables, and TP number, next one is like a company. Okay, got it? Companies. What is how can you retrieve the specific data? Specific data in the sense of you have a specific data, right? So this name, phone number, these things are all. How can you retrieve? Using the new queue item dot specific content. That is a method. Okay, keep in mind the specific method is a method which will retrieve the specific content from the queue. This is like a name dot toString. Okay, so basically this will see here, this is a name toString, and here what is the next thing is a phone number. Copy everything from the queue. That is a best practice because sometimes the spaces are there in the queue. Next one is like this is a copy everything here. Okay, so here's a TP number. Just copy the TP number here. Next thing is a company. Let's copy the company here. Next, another thing is like a Excel row. Excel row is also there. Copy, paste, Excel row number. Okay, Excel row number you're taking. That's it. So we're just taking everything into the variables, and first thing is like a check. So if condition, if first if is like a if the name is mandatory, name is nothing. Okay, name is nothing, or right, phone number is nothing, or TP number is nothing, or company is nothing. Suppose anything is nothing, anything is nothing, then we have to throw the exceptions. Throw business exception. Throw is the activity. Just drag and drop the throw activity and write down the message like this. Throw business exception, business rule exceptions. What is the exceptions? If we have a nothing is missing the information. Okay, so
So
try
this
and
is
being,
some
yeah.
break, 10 to 15 minutes. We can resume by 11:45.
11:45, right? Okay, we will continue the same
Yeah.
thing because
Okay.
next session is also data entry, right? This is also data entry. We'll continue
Okay.
with this.
Okay.
Okay, so 11:45, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So can we connect again, or we have to continue same bridge?
You can connect or you can resume your wish, which is better for
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. I will keep as it is.
Participants, please take some time and you rejoin by 11:45. The link is available, or you stay here.
Participants, you can also fill the feedback link which is shared in the chat box for session 10.
the codes are different. I'm not sure. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll just check this. Last module is there. New Excel, I'll do it.